Welcome, everyone. I am delighted and grateful that you made the time to be here today. This session is the fourth in a series of 8 planned events on the use of hypnotic techniques in coaching. And today is going to be a fun one. Just before we start, recordings of all the sessions will be posted to the NLP with Purpose YouTube channel. I would like to share a story I found in the book Transurfing in 78 Days by Vadim Zeeland and Joanna Dobson. And the story goes as follows. Once in the distant past, or perhaps it was the future, it is difficult to say for certain, the universe forgot itself. Nobody knows why. It is simply the nature of universes that from time to time they forget themselves. She probably dozed off and could not remember her dream when she woke up. What existed before her dream? The dream before that? Perhaps? Maybe the universe was the dream. One way or another, the dream that could not remember itself was transformed into nothing. Could it have been otherwise? Who am I? Nothing asked itself. You are a mirror. 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 Reflection responded in a gazillion flecks of light. Who are you? Mirror asked. I am the reflection in you. Where did you come from? I was born of your question. But I cannot see you. I can't even see myself. How can I be a mirror? I am nothing. Exactly, reflection answered. Emptiness is, in essence, the most primordial and infinitely multidimensional mirror of all, because in the void, nothing reflects nothing. What do I look like? You don't look like anything. Am I big or am I small? Yes. What do you mean, yes? You are both. You are as you imagine yourself to be. You are both infinitely big and infinitely small at the same time, because infinity and a dot are the same thing. How strange. So where am I? Right now, you are in the variance space, reflection answered. Variance of what? Anything at all. The space also appeared as a result of your question. Everything you think about comes into being, for you are an infinitely multidimensional mirror. To your every question, there exists an infinite number of answers. Why do I exist? To be. What can I do? Anything. And since this story tells us we can be anything, what do we know about the reality around us? To that I say, there are an infinite number of universes that exist around us and come into being with every breath you take. And how real are they? Who knows? They are as real as anything you dream into being here and now. So let us focus for a moment on taking a deep breath in and out, and another in and out. Closing the eyes that gaze on this reality and starting to see with the inner eyes of the imagination. I want you to, in this moment, see with your mind's eye and see what appears, and focusing on that picture or that form. What do you feel in your body now? Is there a tingle, a sensation, a color, a word that comes to mind? And who knows what is more real, the world you see in your mind or the world outside? And just breathe all of that in. Open your eyes, stretch your body, and be here. Now, welcome. Today, we will have fun with a technique that seems a little kooky at first, but interestingly had its origins in the imagination of a scientific theory. It is called quantum jumping, and it allows us to do some creative explorations using the metaphor of parallel universes. Before we jump into the detail of today's session, let us quickly talk about what awaits us next week: metaphor and storytelling. In part 5 of our series, we will discuss why it is essential for a coach to be a good storyteller. We will also discuss how the use of stories and metaphors may help our coaching clients gain insights and understanding. By the end of this session, you will understand why stories are important to unconscious processing and how to use and construct metaphors to frame issues and outcomes. So I look forward to seeing you next week on our session on metaphor and storytelling. Burt Goldman developed the quantum jumping technique by considering the many worlds theory and imagining that you could create a connection with another version of you which exists in a parallel universe. He describes his techniques in his book, Quantum Jumping. You may also research Burt Goldman on YouTube and experience some of the other applications of his techniques. There's a number of videos that Burt have recorded, and a lot of them are really interesting. To start with, I will give you a layman's description of quantum theory and then briefly explore the many worlds theory. To start, let us explore some fundamental questions. Thinking about yourself, are you unique? In our perception of the world, the answer is simple. Each of us is different from every other person on this planet and possibly the rest of our universe. But is our universe unique? The concept of multiple realities or multiple parallel universes complicates this answer, and it challenges what we know about the world and ourselves. The many worlds theory is a scientific theory that sounds bizarre, and it may seem more science fiction than reality, but here goes. It starts with quantum theory. Quantum theory is the theoretical basis of modern physics that explains the nature and behavior of matter and energy on the atomic and subatomic level. We sometimes refer to the nature and behavior of matter and energy at that level as quantum physics or quantum mechanics. Quantum theory brought with it two significant interpretations of its implications for the nature of reality: the Copenhagen interpretation and the many worlds theory. Niels Bohr proposed the Copenhagen interpretation of quantum theory, which asserts that a particle is whatever it is measured to be. For example, it could be a wave or it could be a particle, but that it cannot be assumed to have specific properties or even to exist until it is observed or measured. Bohr was saying that objective reality does not exist, which rests on a principle called superposition. Superposition claims that while we do not know what the state of any object is, it is actually in all possible states simultaneously as long as we don't observe it. And by observing it, we create reality. To give you an example and illustrate this, let's consider the thought experiment called Schrodinger's cat. We place a living cat in a thick lead box. We then throw in a vial of poisonous gas and we seal the box. Now, as time passes, we don't know if the poison capsule has broken and the cat has died, or if the poison capsule stayed whole and the cat is alive. Since we do not know, the cat is both dead and alive, according to quantum law, and is in a superposition of states. When we open the box and observe the cat, we lose the superposition, and then we will see if the cat is either alive or dead. And it's by this act of observation that we create the reality of the cat being alive or dead. Just by the way, no cats were harmed in the description of this thought experiment. The second interpretation of quantum theory is the many worlds or multiverse theory. It holds that for any object to be in any state, the universe of that object transmutes into a series of parallel universes equal to the number of possible states in which that object can exist, with each universe containing a unique single possible state of that object. This theory has its origin in the work of Hugh Everett, who in 1954, as a young student at Princeton University, proposed that observation did not cause quantum matter to stop behaving in multiple forms. Instead, he argued that the observation of quantum matter creates a split in the universe. In other words, the universe makes copies of itself to account for all the possibilities, and these duplicates will then proceed independently. Each of these universes offer a unique and independent reality that coexists with other parallel universes. The ramifications of this is that any action that has more than one possible result produces a split in the universe. The implication is that there is an infinite number of parallel universes and infinite copies of the same person. These copies may have identical features, but will not have identical personalities, because each one experiences a separate outcome. They may have very similar backgrounds, but they will have different futures. The infinite number of alternate realities also suggests that nobody can achieve unique accomplishments. Each person or some version of that person in a parallel universe has done or will do everything that has ever been done. So, in one of these parallel worlds, you may be the president of your country, and in another, a homeless beggar. The most troubling implication of parallel universes is that your perception of the world is never real. Our reality at an exact moment in one parallel universe will be entirely unlike that of another world. It is only a tiny figment of infinite and absolute truth. So in this world, you may be listening to me at this moment, but there might be many copies of you in parallel universes that are not. Now, Burt Goldman imagined that in the hypothetical case that we could connect with a version of ourselves in a parallel world who has a different experience to us, we might learn from them and bring those lessons into our current reality. And this is how quantum jumping came into being. The process is deceptively simple. In a relaxed state, you or your coaching client will imagine either connecting or observing a different or more successful version of yourself in a parallel universe that faces a similar question or situation that you are facing. And by observing or conversing with this version of yourself, you may learn lessons that you can bring into your reality here and now. How do we integrate this into our coaching conversation? Before using a technique like this, we must assess whether the coaching client is open to exploring their issues or questions in such a radical and imaginative manner. In many ways, quantum jumping requires your coaching client to disengage their rational thinking and let go of a lot of the base assumptions that support their model of the world. This technique requires insight from the coach and a lot of trust from the coaching client. We aim to do this kind of imaginative and divergent thinking in the exploration phase of the coaching conversation. If we believe that this technique will be useful for the coaching client, it's a good idea to explain it first and then get permission and buy-in from the client to proceed. The purpose of using a technique like quantum jumping with a client is to allow them to step into another reality and explore what it is like to be them, but not them. And then to use this experience to extend their awareness and create possibilities to resolve issues or situations they are experiencing, or to answer developmental questions, or even to create possibilities for future investigation. As this technique requires a high level of trust and imagination, it is essential to get the client settled into a deeper state of relaxation. I often use a 2 or a 3-stage induction to relax the client fully. Now, there's a variety of induction techniques that we used in the last few weeks in this series, and today I will use variations of it. The technique that I've picked for today is a countdown induction, where I'm simply counting down from 10 to 1, offering suggestions of relaxation, asking the client to count down with me in their own mind. And then I follow that up with a variation of the countdown induction known as the descending a staircase induction, whereby we will, in our mind's eye, descend down a staircase. And in this descending of the staircase, you can pick how many steps you want to use in your induction. I normally, if I use the countdown induction from 10 to 1, I would typically only pick 5 steps. But if you feel that your client needs a little bit more time to prepare to get to the appropriate state, you can choose to use more steps than that. Another thing that is really a good way of also relaxing your client is the focus on the breath. During your induction, it is vital to create states of curiosity and openness to new experiences. I will do that today by using descriptions around the inductions designed to invoke curiosity and openness to experience. I said earlier that this is a very simple process, and it simply consists of the following steps or pattern. The first step would be simply to come to presence. In previous sessions, I have done that either by invoking the coach state, connecting to the centeredness within yourself, being open to whatever may arise, being aware of all of your senses, being connected to the resources within you and around you, and holding the space. That is one way of doing it. Another way to come to presence is simply by doing a body scan, by becoming aware of your body, by noticing how you feel inside of your body in this moment. So there's a number of techniques that you can use to come to presence. And outside of our conversations over the last few weeks, there are many different techniques out there that you can go and research and learn. The next step is to set an intention. As usual, our intention will frame the way that we approach the exercise, and it's very important to set a positive intention because from positive psychology, we know that positive intention leads to positive outcomes. Then you will ask a question. And this question will also be stated in the positive. And this question can be a question about a situation or a problem or issue or a situation that the client might want to experience. Okay, let me just see if I've got that right. So the question can either be about a problem or issue, it can be about the situation that they're experiencing, or it can be a developmental one. Then, once we understand what the specific question or the specific situation is that we or our coaching client wants to experience, then we will go into the quantum jumping exercise. And that starts with an induction. I would suggest a minimum of a 2-stage induction. And if you do have time, you can take it to a 3-stage induction. The quantum jumping exercise itself, what is really important about experiencing that to the fullest of your experience is the following. As you go through this exercise, it's very important that you vividly see the experience in your mind's eye. It is about looking for everything that you could potentially observe. And then, secondly, to experiencing it in all of your senses. Thinking about what it is that you are hearing in that moment, what you are feeling, what you are smelling, what you are touching, and any other experiences of the senses that you want to integrate in your quantum jumping exercise. The other important point is to observe it as if it is happening right now. So even if you are working with a question or a situation that came out of your past or your recent past, it is very important to observe that situation as if it is playing out in this moment, right now. So, this is simply the steps in this exercise. So, in the first exercise, what we are going to do is I'm going to facilitate you through a typical quantum jump using the process that I've just described to you. And in the first exercise, we are simply going to observe something that is happening in a parallel universe. You can decide whether this is metaphorical for you or whether it's literal. Because, as I explained earlier, there are some scientific underpinnings to this whole technique. Let's start simply by coming to presence. So, as you sit where you are in the chair that is supporting you, just sit back for a moment and take a deep breath in and out. And just let your body relax and just notice how the air feels on your skin. And notice how the breath flows into and out of your lungs, coming to rest in this moment. And as you sit here, being fully present in this moment, I would like for you to set an intention for yourself for this exercise. And I'll share with you my intention. My intention is to fully experience the adventure we are about to experience. And I'm really curious to see what the wonderful world is that will come to my mind. And just sitting in there for a moment, just set your own intention. What would your intention be? That positive intention that will frame the question that you will ask and the experience that you will have. And if you haven't closed your eyes yet, this will be a good time to close your eyes. Sitting in your safe space at home. And with your eyes closed, I just want you to think about something that happened in the recent past. Something that happened and you did something, one thing that did not work out the way you wanted it to. And it might be something small or it might be something significant. But think about that thing you did, precisely the one thing you did that is causing you regret or frustration. And just remember how you felt immediately after doing this thing, this one thing. And just let that go for a little bit. And I'm going to ask you to follow me while I'm going to count down from 10 to 1. And I want you to repeat in your mind every number as I say it, when I say it, starting with 10, feeling really relaxed. 9, even more relaxed, falling deeper and deeper into relaxation. 8, noticing how safe you feel this deep into relaxation. 7, slowly resting, relaxed. 6, noticing how relaxation flows into tranquility. 5, halfway there, not as deep as we can be, but already deeply relaxed. 4, remembering to breathe. 3, noticing safety. 2, almost there. And 1, deeply relaxed, confident, safe. And as you feel this relaxed, I want you to notice yourself standing at the top of a staircase. And I don't know what your staircase looks like, but you can see it in your mind, looking down the 5 steps we are going to follow all the way down, taking a step onto the 4th step, noticing a thought or an image or a feeling coming to mind, wondering what this thought or image or feeling means for you, wondering what insight awaits for you on the next stair, stepping down to step number 3, seeing if any other thoughts or images or feelings come to mind, being really curious about what your unconscious is bringing to you in this moment, walking down these stairs, stepping down to step number 2, knowing that curiosity will follow you regardless of how many more steps there are. Stepping down to 1, only one more to go. And on this step, what comes to mind for you? How does this thought, image, or feeling relate to the question that you have for the world that you are about to enter? Taking the last step onto the floor, standing in the hallway, and I'm going to count from 1 to 3, and a door will appear in front of you. 1, 2, 3. And with your mind's eye, see this door. What does it look like to you? Your door. This is the transit point, the jumping off point to get you wherever your question wants you to go. Beyond this door, there is an infinite number of dimensions, an infinite number of universes. And in one of those universes, if you took a different path, what you did here in this world that is causing you problems now had a different conclusion in this different universe, a positive conclusion. Anything that you can imagine is available to you on the other side of this door. And I'm going to count from 1 to 3. And at the count of 3, the door will open and you will jump through it. Imagine yourself jumping into this different universe. And as you jump through this door, but not yet, you will then be back to that moment, to that scene that is the source of the issues in your present life. But the you that you will see in front of you will be the twin self from that universe. 1, 2, 3, and jump. And see the scene in front of you. Your twin self is going through the same scene just as you did. But they are doing something different. Something that works in a positive way. Something that you didn't do, or maybe didn't even think about. Observe their action, a way that could cause your present to be a joyful place with success and all the best in life. If you did this, see what they are doing, learn from it, remember it, and relax. Take a deep breath in feeling grateful for the revelation of something that is new to you. And then, if you were going to use it in your present world, it will create a really positive future for you. And now I will count back from 3 to 1. And when I reach 1, you will be back on the other side of the door in the universe within which you exist. 3, 2, 1. You are back in the here and now. And in a moment, I'm going to count back from 3 to 1. And when I reach 1, I will invite you to open your eyes. 3, 2, 1. Opening your eyes, being awake, wide awake and alert, feeling better, more energized than you did before. Stretch your body. Open your eyes and be here now. Welcome. So what I'm going to do is we're going to scale this up in complexity just a little bit. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use the same 2 inductions that I used before. And the purpose of this is so that you can just observe how well this induction works. And by hearing it a second or a third time, you will be able to start thinking about how you can apply this for yourself or create your own variation on this induction. I'm also going to step through the process exactly like we did before. As before, I am going to ask you to come to this present moment in the best way that works for you. And another good way to come into the presence is just simply by doing a body scan. And it's a very simple process, just closing your eyes, taking a deep breath in, and then just start noticing your left foot. And just notice your left foot as if that's the only part of your body that you can feel in this moment. Noticing the sensations in that foot. Might be a little tingle in there. It might feel a little warm or cold. We are getting to that time of the year where things start cooling down. And while noticing your left foot, I also want you to notice at the same time your right foot. And notice how you can notice both of your feet at the same time. And while still noticing your left foot and your right foot, notice that while you are feeling both of your feet, you can also feel both of your hands at the same time. Here and now. And if you wanted to, you can extend that awareness to the rest of your body, but it's not necessary. unless you want to. And while you are noticing how your body feels in this moment, here and now, I want you to set your intention for our next exercise, in which you are going to have the opportunity to ask another version of you in a very different universe a question you don't have the answer to. And this question, if you found the answer, will make your life here and now a lot better. And I don't know what your intention is for this exercise, but my intention is to really connect with this version of myself in a different universe, knowing that this other version has all the experience and the knowledge that I haven't yet got, and that this question that I will ask them will give me so much more in this world that I'm a part of. So my intention is to be really open to whatever the answer might be to the question that I ask. And then, of course, I need to think, what is that question I want to ask? And how can I state it in a positive way so that if I ask this question, the answer that I'll get will expand my possibility and my awareness. And thinking about that question that you might struggle in this universe to answer, just think of the form of that question and how it comes to mind right now. And then I am going to start counting down from 10 to 1. And I'm going to ask you to repeat those numbers in your mind as I count them down. 10. Feeling more relaxed, connecting with the sense of curiosity that only you have. 9. Falling deeper into tranquility. 8. Knowing that there are answers out there in the world that can make your life much better. 7. Deeper still. 6. That's right. 5. Feeling comfortable. 4. Relaxed. 3. Knowing that your life can change in a moment. 2. Really feeling the anticipation. 1. Deeply relaxed, deeply confident, deeply curious. And you find yourself at the top of yet another staircase, also only 5 steps down. Standing on the 5th step, allowing yourself to step forward onto the 4th step, relaxing for a moment, noticing where you are, stepping onto the 3rd step, and then the 2nd, almost there, but not yet. Taking one more step down, only one step to go. And this time, as you take this last step, but not yet, a door will appear immediately in front of you. And it might be the same door, or it might be a very different door. And even if it looks like the same door, it might not be. So take that last step down and see the door appear in front of you now. And what does this door look like? This new door, your door, that is your entry point to a very different universe, the jumping off point to get you wherever your question wants you to go to get your answer. Remembering that beyond this door, there's an infinite number of dimensions, an infinite number of universes. And in one of those universes, you took a different path, learned in a different way. And this question that you seek to answer, this different version of you in this universe, will have the answer to, a clear answer. Anything that you can imagine is available to you on the other side of that door. And I'm going to count from 1 to 3. And at the count of 3, the door will open and you will jump through it. And you will be in the presence of your twin self in another universe. A universe where your twin self already has the answer to your question. So let's count 1, 2, 3, and jump. And see your twin self from this universe, friendly, welcoming, happy to see you. And ask your question and listen to the wisdom they have, knowing that this answer will cause your presence to be a joyful place with success and all the best in life. And I'm going to give you a moment to explore your question with your twin self. who knows so much. That's right. And take from this moment any answer that works for you right now. Or know that the answer will present itself to you from the information that you got in this conversation. Learn from it, remember it, relax, take a deep breath in, feeling grateful for the revelation. Now I will count from 1 to 3, and you will be back on the other side of the door, back in this world, your reality. 1, 2, 3, and you are back on the other side of the door. And in the moment, I'm going to count from 3 to 1. 3, feeling more energized. 2, grateful for the answers you got. 1, wide awake, open your eyes, be here now, feeling better than you did before. Stretch your body. What I just want to say in conclusion is that quantum jumping is a useful technique to teach yourself and your coaching clients to explore imaginative ways of thinking in the coaching session and, of course, beyond. When I use this technique with a client, I take the time to teach them the technique so that they can actually use it beyond the session by themselves. And it is terrific for exploring a parallel or an alternate experience in your exploration stage. And I would encourage all of you, if this technique connected for you, learn this technique, practice it, and see the possibility it opens up for you, and then help your clients to discover the wonder of it too. So formally, I'm going to say thank you very much for joining us on this journey today. And I hope to see some of you or all of you or some of all of you next week for the metaphor and storytelling. And I'll stick around, and if there's any more questions or if you have any more insights that you want to share, you're very welcome to stay and share that.